Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and on this video tonight, these are lots of things to currently talk about. So I'm going to be giving you an update on some more transfer news, and these are lots of other things to currently talk about. So I do feel as though that we should name Harry Maguire as our permanent captain if Ashley Young, of course, is to leave the football club. Obviously, I think Harry Maguire shows a good leadership. You've got to say, he has addressed our defensive deficiencies, since, where we did sign him last summer from Leicester, because we did pay him around, we paid £80 million for Harry Maguire. And in that aspect, of course, he is the most expensive defender in the world. And he's the second most expensive signing at the football club. I do agree on the aspects that Man United did overpay for him, but like I said, he has settled in, really well. I think, these doubts regarding Ashley Young's future, I think, we are reluctant to let Ashley Young leave in this, January transfer window. I think the explanation for that is that, reflecting, on the injuries that Man United have got, this is why, we are not determined to let Ashley Young go. Obviously, recent reports have stemmed out from Sky Sports. Sky Sports is a reliable source, and, they've said that Inter Milan still remain interested in Ashley Young. Ashley Young's our current captain at the moment. It does say that Inter Milan have been in talks with Man United over getting Ashley Young. But reportedly now his move to Inter Milan could be in doubt due to a swap deal with Roma. A few other teams have entered the race for Ashley Young, by the way. Crystal Palace, Lazio, and I think Aston Villa have also been in for him. Reportedly, recently Man United had offered Ashley Young a new one-year extension, but reportedly, Ashley Young had turned this new one-year extension down because Ashley Young last year signed a new one-year extension with the football club. But it did actually say that Inter Milan are set to sign Ashley Young on a free transfer at the end of the season when his current contract does expire. But Young has initially lost his place in the team. He didn't play against Norwich at the weekend. He obviously isn't going to be playing against Wolves tomorrow. Solskjaer has confirmed that. Young, of course, now is into his 9th season at Manchester United, so he has been a long-serving player. He has enjoyed 8 years here. But since the arrival of Wan-Bissaka, he's been established as our first choice right back under Solskjaer, and Ashley Young has lost his place in the team. Totally comparison to last season, because last season he was our first choice right back. Young has made a total of 261 appearances for the club in all competitions since his arrival from Aston Villa back in 2011, and he has made around 18 appearances so far this season. Young, when he was younger, he was initially a right winger, but as he was developing more, he got transformed into a formidable fullback. But like I've said, he's 34, he's nearly 35. He has passed his sell-by day at the football club. So he's definitely one of the players that does need to go. And I think we are determined to let players go this year, as long as, we can, recommend some signings in. So that's the latest news regarding that. I want to give you a bit of an update again on Bruno Fernandes, because I have been updating you about Bruno Fernandes on a regular basis. I think, Man United have to sign Bruno Fernandes by Friday afternoon if he's to make his debut against Liverpool on Sunday. Now, nothing is official as yet, but it's looking very, very imminent that we are going to sign him. So it's looking likely he's going to be our first signing in this January transfer window. And it's looking likely he's going to be our 4th signing overall under the Mulligan and Solskjaer era. Reports are saying that, Rojo or Andres Pereira could be part of the deal of, Bruno Fernandes coming to Manchester United. Bruno Fernandes is set to cost us in the excess of around £60 million, because Sporting Lisbon are demanding around £60 million. Reportedly, Man United will have to pay around £50 or £51 million up front, and there will be £9 or £10 million in add-ons. I think he's agreed the personal terms with the club. I think, he's set to sign a contract with the club until 2025. So that does mean he will sign a 5-year deal with Manchester United. And I think he's set to earn around 100 grand a week. so he is going to get an increase in his wages. The BBC did report yesterday. I've got the same perception on the BBC of what I've got of Sky Sports. Like I said, they are two reliable sources, and this was stemming from Simon Stone in the BBC. He says Man United have held negotiations with Sporting Lisbon over signing Bruno Fernandes. So what that means in that aspect is now negotiations are at an advanced stage. So that's very, very good news. And obviously, when he does officially sign, his shirt number will be revealed. But we've been in talks for quite a few days now, and obviously it reported out on Friday of last week. He said that Man United. He said that the Sporting Lisbon president Federico Varandas, also to his agent, they're flown out to London, to have negotiations with Man United. This is what it basically said. And obviously it's gone on since then. Quite a few weeks ago, Solskjaer had flew out to Portugal with Mike Phelan, to watch Bruno Fernandes in action. But Bruno Fernandes has confirmed that he does want to leave Sporting Lisbon. But I'll be very delighted if we can get Bruno Fernandes, and I think, a lot of United fans will be determined to back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, if we do get Bruno Fernandes in. But it should be officially announced sometime this week, definitely. But obviously, last season we was relentlessly, linked with a move for Bruno Fernandes. We was relentlessly, linked with him last summer. But the main reason why we didn't get him last summer is because we didn't put an official bid in for him, and we was not willing to meet Sporting Lisbon's valuation. Spurs have recently reignited their interest. Spurs were in for him last summer. City were in for him last summer, and so too Liverpool were in for him last summer. But his actual preference was a move to Tottenham last summer, but obviously it's comparison now because his preference is a move to Manchester United. Bruno Fernandes is 25 years of age. He has still got a lot of development in him, and he's basically now nearly in his prime. But I think he'll exceed expectations in the Premier League, because I think at Man United he'll be able to replicate, what he's done in his couple of years he has been with Sporting Lisbon, because I've got to say, he's been a revelation in Portugal as Bruno Fernandes. And I think he was quite good in his Serie A when he was younger, because when he was younger, he spent the entirety of his career in the Serie A, with Udinese and Sampdoria and Novria. And, from Sporting Lisbon's perspective, they'll be happy to generate around £60 million for him, because they got him from next to note from Sampdoria. I think they only paid around £7 million for him from Sampdoria, and Bruno Fernandes extended his contract term in November of last year until 2023. But I do believe we're actually seeing him as an adequate replacement for Paul Pogba, because I think I'm still very convinced that Paul Pogba is going to be leaving the football club. But I still feel as though that we need more than Bruno Fernandes in this January transfer window. It would be beneficial if we could get another midfielder in. We also need a replacement for Amanda Herrera. It would be also beneficial if we did get a couple of attackers in, because we need an adequate replacement for Romelu Lukaku and Alexis Sanchez. And there's possibly other areas in the squad as well that do need to be addressed. But it would be beneficial, like I said, if we could get another midfielder in. Solskjaer, did say that we do not expect many signings in this January transfer window. I do believe we'll do the vast majority of our transfer business this summer. But, if we can get 2 or 3 signings in this January transfer window, I will be relieved in that, because Solskjaer still, believes we can, compete for the biggest players. He recently come out with this, because he insists that Man United are still the world's top club. Even though we've been inconsistent for the last 6 or 7 years and that, we can still, get the right calibre players to Manchester United. Well, I'm hopeful anyway. And I think, this year, we're going to spend a substantial amount on recruiting new players in. I think at an estimated guess, we're going to spend from 250 to 300 million pounds on recruiting new players in. But definitely our recruitment has got to improve, because our recruitment policy has been poor for several years. But I also want to give you some news regarding Declan Rice. I was reading recent reports about Declan Rice, and he's another midfielder on our agenda. So recent reports said that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had instructed his personal scout to watch Declan Rice in action. Sheffield United, of course, beat West Ham 1-0 last Friday. So reportedly, if we are to go in for Declan Rice, we're not going to go in for him until the summer, but we will not get him in this January transfer window. Now, Declan Rice is a holding midfielder, so he's a defensive midfielder. He can also operate as a centre-back. But we actually inquired about his services last summer, Declan Rice. But obviously, we didn't get him on the board. He initially is playing his trade with West Ham. He initially learned his trade in the Premier League, because so far, up until this point, he's spent the entirety of his career in the Premier League. Declan Rice, not too long ago, turned 21 years of age, and he's now been at West Ham for several years. He has got a long-term contract with them, because he is under contract at West Ham until 2024. In total in the Premier League for West Ham, he has made around 82 appearances. I think he's made around 91 appearances in all competitions, but the vast majority of his appearances have come in the Premier League. So do you think, he would be the right calibre player for Manchester United? I do probably believe he'd cost us in the excess maybe of around 50 or 60 million pounds if we were to go in for him in the summer. So yeah, I'd love him to, to come to Man United, because I think if he came to Man United, he'd be able, to replicate, what he has done with West Ham. What he has done with West Ham and all of that, But yeah, news regarding James Maddison. I think it's very very unlikely that we're going to get James Maddison on the board in this January transfer window. Recently, Alan Shearer had instructed James Maddison not to join Manchester United again. I think if we've got any chances of signing James Maddison, it's probably more imminent that we'll sign him in the summer rather than in this January transfer window. Don't forget, as I updated you the other week, I think it was last week I updated you, there was reports emerging out saying that, we'd allegedly put a bid in of around £45 million for James Maddison. Plus, we was determined to offer Jesse Lingard as part of the deal, because I do feel as though that Jesse Lingard is one of the problematic players at the football club, and like I've said, Jesse Lingard is not performing to the standards as we should expect from him, and like I've said, reflecting on his status and the number of years he's been at the football club, he should be putting much more better performances out. But I said, that wouldn't convince Leicester to offload him. Leicester do know deep down how much of an imperative player that James Maddison is. And disregarding him being part of any swap deal, he'd probably cost us in the region of around maybe 60 or 70 million pounds. James Maddison is predominantly an attacking midfielder. But Brendan Rodgers has actually played him on the left quite a lot of times. James Maddison now is into his second season with Leicester, and he's doing really, really well. So I think this season he's replicating, what he did in his debut season with Leicester. Last season with Leicester, he created more chances than any other player in the Premier League. And I think he's still got around 3 years left on his current contract. I think Leicester paid around £20 million to him from Norwich in the summer of 2018. But allegedly, we've been in for James Maddison since June, so you can potentially say he's a summer transfer target for Man United. There's still a lot of talks going on about Jack Grealish. I think he's another summer transfer target. Jack Grealish, of course, has spent the majority of his career with Aston Villa. Obviously, he did have a loan spell with Notts County, but I think Jack Grealish has been an Aston Villa player since the age of 6. Progressing up the ranks with them, I think he made his senior debut in May 2014. Jack Grealish can play as an attacking midfielder. He can also play as a winner, and I think he's under contract with Aston Villa until 2023. Dean Smith, the Aston Villa manager, he recently came out and gave his overarching view on it, and he feels as though that Jack Grealish will not leave Aston Villa in this January transfer window. But again, do you think, he would be the right calibre player for Manchester United? So, like I said, there is a lot of midfielders on our current agenda and that. So yeah, definitely, when we get Bruno Fernandes, we do need to make more signings. And I said recently, didn't I? I think we need at least 5 to 6 more signings if we are to be back to being a competitively level football club. And of course, if we are to be up there challenging for major honours in that. But like I've said, I know Solskjaer has been under intense pressure for the vast majority of this season, due to our inconsistency. Obviously, we've enjoyed our start to a Premier League season for around 30 years, but our board and Ed Woodward are still determined to back Solskjaer in this January transfer window, and they're also, determined to back him in the summer transfer window, because Solskjaer has been at the football club now for 13 months. He's been here over a year, and he knows now that he's into his second year at the football club. He's got many expectations to exceed. But Solskjaer did recently say that he expects a successful 2020 with Man United, and he expects us to enjoy a better year this year than what we saw last year. Because for the vast majority of last year, Solskjaer enjoyed a difficult time prior to the 3-month period when he was the interim manager. Because to be fair, Solskjaer did really, really well when he was the interim manager in that 3-month period. Like I said, the results were good, the performances were good, he exceeded expectations, and, he won his first 8 games, he won 10 games out of 13 in the Premier League, he won 14 out of 19 in total, and obviously, reflecting on that, that was enough to give him the job on a permanent basis. And Solskjaer's now been permanent manager for almost 10 months. He's just recently come out as well and said, if we did decide to sack Solskjaer within this 3-year period, because when he had been given the job on a permanent basis, he had signed a 3-year contract worth around £7.5 million a year. But it's just been said, we'd have to pay around £5 million in compensation, to get him out of the football club. Obviously, we don't have to pay nowhere near to the extent as what we had to pay to get rid of Jose Mourinho, because I think we had to pay around £20 million to get Jose Mourinho out of the football club. But I'm very sceptical that Man United will sack Solskjaer at this present time. Maybe he could leave at the end of the season, but I'm very sceptical, that he will see out his 3-year contract with the football club. I think reflecting on Solskjaer being a club legend, I think in that aspect our board has softened our stance. Because I think, disregarding him being a club legend, I think, probably he would have been sacked by now. Disregarding him being a club legend, he would have been sacked by now without a shadow of a doubt. But as a player, I thought Solskjaer, was really, really good because he enjoyed 11 years at Manchester United. But, I think as a manager, he's totally comparison to how he was as a player. Man United is the third club that Solskjaer is managing in his managerial career. Before he came to Man United, he was at Mould. And before he was at Mould, he was at Cardiff. And he enjoyed really short tenure with Cardiff. His tenure at Cardiff didn't work out because, again, he got Cardiff relegated, but he only managed around 28 or 29 games for Cardiff. But I can say Solskjaer's managerial tenure, isn't going to work out at the football club. But like I've said, it probably wouldn't really solve a lot of problems if we did get rid of Solskjaer now. He wouldn't really solve a lot of problems, to be quite honest with you. But not all of the blame stems from Solskjaer, why we've been so inconsistent for the vast majority of this season. I think some of the blame stems from him, definitely, so he's accountable for some of it. I think some of the blame stems from certain players. I think, our board are definitely accountable, to be quite honest with you. I think the vast majority of the blame stems from our board. I think we need to recommend a new board in. I think we also need to get rid of Ed Woodward. We also need to get rid of the Glazers. As you all saw, the vast majority of our fans, were protesting Ed Woodward and the Glazers in our 4-0 win against Norwich at the weekend. So I think overall, anyway, we do need to see a variety of changes at the football club. Some people, or maybe a lot of people, believe the explanation why we've been inconsistent is maybe, due to the amount of injuries that Man United have had this season. Also, we've got a lot of young players in the squad. And, I do credit Solskjaer in that aspect, to be fair. He has got a lot of trustworthy in his young players. A lot of trustworthy in his young upcoming players. And I think there's a lot of young players, that will become a success at the football club. I think, Mason Greenwood's going to do well. Brandon Williams will do well now. Solskjaer views Brandon Williams as his first choice left back, but I think he's a much better solution than Luke Shaw. Tuan Zebe, I think he's going to do well, but he's sustained quite a few injuries this season. He's out now until February, Tuan Zebe. I think Garner will do well. Perhaps maybe Angel Gomez will do well. He has made a couple of substitute appearances in the last couple of games, and I did say, when Solskjaer going to be convinced to give Angel Gomez his opportunities. But there again, I've got some element of concerns about some of the young players, so maybe we should consider, getting rid of them this year, or maybe, loaning some of them out. Prime example, I think Chon is not at that level yet. He hasn't emulated that level, so I do think the club need to consider loaning Chon out, definitely. Without a shadow of a doubt. Obviously, you saw my 2 videos that I did earlier on today. I obviously, give you the preview for the Man United Wolves game in the FA Cup. Also, I give you some news and that, regarding Mauricio Pochettino. Man United Wolves is tomorrow, 7:45 kick-off at Old Trafford. It's the FA Cup third round replay. The winners, of course, play the winners of Watford and Tranmere in the 4th round. Watford and Tranmere were supposed to be playing tonight, but the game has been postponed. Is it something to do with the rain? I'm not too sure. But, we should beat Wolves tomorrow, in the replay. Solskjaer's not yet beaten Wolves as a manager. We have not beaten Wolves since they come up to the top flight in 2018. So Wolves are unbeaten in their last 5 games against us. So Wolves in recent years have seemed to be a bogey team for us. Wolves have not beaten us at Old Trafford for around 40 years. We have not been knocked out of the FA Cup third round since 2013, or is it 2014? And this is our 3rd game at Old Trafford of 2020. So hopefully we can win the game against Wolves. But like I said, Wolves are a decent side. I admire them. They've got some good players. They've got a good manager in Nuno Santo. And, maybe the priority is... the FA Cup's a priority for Wolves, but I feel as though that the FA Cup is more of a priority for us, if I'm going to be honest with you, because we need to get some silverware on the board this season. Because Solskjaer not too long ago spoken about the importance of us lifting silverware, because we have lacked silverware in the last 6 or 7 years. But the FA Cup is definitely now a priority for us. It's looking very, very unlikely now we're going to win the Carabao Cup. Don't forget, we can also, possibly win the Europa League, because we are into knockout stages of that. Don't forget, that's another route to Champions League football for us. And also, the league is a priority for us, because obviously, we want to get into that top 4. And I did say, didn't I, at the start of this season, that our expectations this season will be to finish in that top 4. But I do feel as though that, our aspirations will be that top 4 in the next couple of seasons, definitely. But, from Wolves' perspective, they're obviously, into the knockout stages of the Europa League as well as Man United, and they're going to say the Europa League is a priority for them. I'm very sceptical, that Wolves will win, the Europa League, but they've still done very, very well to progress to the knockout stages, and that's very, very good to their standards. They finished 7th in the Premier League, last season. They enjoyed a good cup run last season. Last season they progressed to the FA Cup semi-finals for the first time in 21 years. But in this game against Wolves, I think Solskjaer will rest key players, because he's aware that the Liverpool game is on the horizon. The Liverpool game is on Sunday. I give you my reaction to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference. I give you my reaction to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference, and he was asked about the link, to Bruno Fernandes. He hasn't really given us an update on the transfers. He also praised Mason Greenwood during the press conference, and he dismissed, Mason Greenwood, playing for the in the European Championships because he was asked about that, but he thinks Mason Greenwood will enjoy a long career, but he thinks he'll have a successful career with Manchester United. I think it could be imminent that Mason Greenwood starts tomorrow against Wolves because maybe, Rashford and Martial may be rested until the Liverpool game. Mason Greenwood has scored 9 goals in 26 first-team appearances this season. I think that is in all competitions, but he has been revelation. And this is Mason Greenwood's first season in the senior squad. He's replicating this season what he did for the reserves last season, Mason Greenwood. But he's done really, really well, and he only made his full debut for the club in the game against Cardiff at the end of last season. But I've been very, very impressed with Greenwood. He's also praised Rashford and Martial because they've done very, very well. They've been in scintillating form, and they would be the players I would be determined to keep at the football club because they are the long-term solutions for Man United. Rashford is now on 63 senior goals for the club since he broke into the senior squad back in 2016. He's on 16 or 17 goals this season in all competitions, and he scored 2 goals against Norwich, and that was his 200th appearance for the club. And Rashford is only 22. With Anthony Martial, you got to say he helps the likes of Daniel James and Rashford anywhere, and he does add more inspiration in that attacking third of the pitch. But he's done well as Martial because he scored at the weekend. He's now on 59 senior goals for the football club, is Anthony Martial. But I've got to say, he has done really, really well. And he's sustained a few injuries this season, Martial. He was injured early on the season with a hamstring problem. He had a minor injury. Then obviously he's not too long ago been out with illness. But it hasn't affected his game. Credit him for that. And he is only 24 years of age and that. So maybe they could be rested in this game. Solskjaer provided us with an update regarding Eric Bailly. He did confirm this morning in his press conference that Man United had arranged a game for the reserves, and it said Bailly would have been participating in it, and I do presume he has participated in that. Solskjaer did confirm that Bailly could be back for the Liverpool game on Sunday, which is very, very good news. Bailly has been out for the entirety of the season so far with a knee injury, so basically he has been out since pre-season. Eric Bailly, of course, is injury prone, but when he's fully fit, he's got great potential, and he does hold his line well. And as you all know, it's confirmed that Ashley Young will not be playing against Wolves, so I do presume that Wan-Bissaka will be starting at right back. Maybe Diego Dalot, could start at right back because he's also sustained quite a few injuries this season as Diego Dalot. Lingard's been out of illness. Luke Shaw's got, I think, a minor hamstring problem as well. So we have still got some injuries. We know that obviously Pogba and McTominay are not going to be involved, because they're both out with injury. I think Pogba's out until February. McTominay also is out until February. Pogba's got an ankle injury, and McTominay damaged the ligaments in his knee. Don't forget. So we have, still got injuries. We have still got injuries in that. I gave you the news, didn't I, earlier on regarding Mauricio Pochettino. It says, Man United have held secret negotiations with Mauricio Pochettino about replacing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at the football club. Now, like I said, Pochettino won't come in yet because we're determined to stick by Solskjaer. If Pochettino is to come in, it's more imminent. It will be at the end of the season rather, than this present time. I was reading reports yesterday and it said, Barcelona identified Mauricio Pochettino as their primary candidate to replace Ernesto Valverde because he's obviously, just been sacked by Barcelona. But I think Barcelona, like I said, have just appointed the former Real Betis manager in, but I can't, really pronounce his name. Pochettino's been linked with a few clubs though. There's been speculation about him going to Bayern Munich. There's also been a lot of speculation about him possibly, going to Real Madrid. But we've been long admirers of Pochettino. We've been in for him for a very, very long time. Don't forget, we was in for him after the sacking of Jose Mourinho in December 2018 and that. But obviously, uh, our preference was Solskjaer because Solskjaer was a cheaper solution. Plus, Solskjaer knows the culture of the club, and in that aspect, his comparison to Pochettino doesn't, because Pochettino doesn't know the club well like Solskjaer, and you know, Solskjaer did well in that 3 month period when he was the interim manager. But obviously now it's a change because now we wouldn't have to pay anything to recommend Pochettino in because Pochettino, of course, is currently managerless. But I thought Pochettino enjoyed a good 5.5 years with Tottenham. He's well Premier League proven. His philosophy is good. He's good at developing young players. And for my own perception, he's totally a comparison to Solskjaer and that. But I'd love Pochettino to come in. And I think if Solskjaer is to be sacked, it's very imminent that Mauricio Pochettino will be our next manager. And if he is to come in, he will be our 5th permanent manager since the Alex Ferguson era, definitely. I think it was also disappointing last summer that the club didn't recommend a new director of footballing. Because I did say, didn't I, that's one of the structural changes that we need at the football club. So it was a shame that we didn't get a new director of footballing because there was quite a few former Man United players linked with that director's role, as you all know anyway. But yeah, so like I said, we are determined to give Solskjaer time. So that's basically everything to update you today, guys. So I just wanted to give you the news, regarding some more transfers, and I feel as though that Harry Maguire should be given the captaincy. If Ashley Young is to leave the football club. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.